Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Marissa Price. I am a Black woman social worker, healer, educator, sharing my authentic story in the aim of helping us heal, right? To create a safe space on the internet for Black women to share our stories because we don't have enough safe spaces to do that. So, welcome to everyone who's joining today. This is kind of an impromptu live. As I was kind of thinking about this, I had this idea for a while. I'm like, I'm just about to go live because it's been sitting for too long, right? So just coming here to share some of my thoughts around the live meritocracy for Black women, especially, right? Working in spaces where I've heard Black women share their stories over and over again, right? About working in fields. It doesn't really matter which field, right? Because I've heard it across field, but getting to the top, right? Becoming a subject matter expert, right? Getting all these credentials, degrees, things that we're told that we need to achieve success, right? Which is one of the parts of meritocracy. And then we get these things and we're met with vitriol, we're met with hostility. And so really it's a lie, right? It's a lie, meritocracy, that if we achieve more, then we will be seen as equal. That has been proven to be false, right? And I think more of us are realizing that. But I do want to say thank y'all so much because this is my 100th video on my channel. So before I go too much further, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. If you're watching this on the replay, I really do appreciate it. I kind of started this channel with not really like anything in mind, just sharing my story, right? Sharing my story out there in the process of healing from a toxic job, kind of trying to understand what happened to me, how things spiraled so quickly, it felt like, even though it was over, a couple years, but it was a lot. It was a lot to process. So I kind of started my YouTube channel, just putting my story out there, not even realizing that other people would resonate with it. And so I want to thank y'all for sharing your stories, sharing your comments, the things that you've experienced in toxic jobs, because that has also helped me heal and realize that I'm not alone. As we begin to share our stories, we see those overlapping themes, we see the patterns emerging from the things that we've experienced, and we realize we're not alone in any of this. So yeah, just want to thank y'all. Again, this is my 100th video, so thank you for your support. But yeah, let me get into my notes. And as you're coming in, please let us know in the chat so we can say hello. Yeah, but meritocracy, right? Just starting with the definition, meritocracy, a social system, society, or organization in which people get success or power because of their abilities, not because of their money or social position, right? So this is sold to us, right? Hey, Joanne, good to see you. Good to see you from Indiana. Congratulations. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. Yes. Fellow Midwestern girl from Missouri. So, yes, good to see you. All right. So, we are sold this, right? We are sold this that if we achieve, right, if we demonstrate our abilities over and over again, which we do, which I'm going to get into, right, then we will achieve this success that's out there. We will achieve a sense of safety, which is often what we're striving towards. Because the systems that we live in, the society that we live in, creates so much fear around everything. So we're trying everything, every which way, right? Degrees, certifications, all of these extra things to try to achieve the sense of safety and success. And sometimes it never comes, sometimes it does, right? In the form of material success, but at what cost? Because I know for me, right, achieving the figure that I wanted to achieve, but in the process, my body breaking down, right, my mental health deteriorating, that was kind of the trade-off that was sold to me. Well, at least you get the figure amount, right, the dollar amount that you're striving for. But for Black women especially, what is it doing to our bodies, right? To be in these environments subject to hostility, right? Bullying at every turn to achieve this success that we're told that meritocracy affords us. So that's really a lie, right? That's a lie that if we continue achieving, again, demonstrating our abilities through things like external accolades, achievements, that we will finally be successful. And when we get to that point, it's disillusioning for so many of us because we're in these positions and all of a sudden now people are envious of the titles, the degrees, the awards that we hold. So what is this whole thing, right? It feels like a charade. And Black women are being subjected to harm all along the way, right? Because we know achieving these things within these institutions, me having come from, right, predominantly white institutions for my bachelor's degree, for my master's degree, that did not come without a cost, right? And I was striving, I was achieving to get the GPA, get the awards, get extra stuff on and the top of like above the things that I was even in school to do, to prove to other people that I was worthy, right? To finally achieve, again, what meritocracy says that the end goal, success, not based on money or social position, but based on our abilities. That's not the case for a lot of us. That's not the case. And what does it do when you have put so much time, so much effort? You've navigated these systems that are unfriendly, that are hostile for all of these years, and then you still are not able to achieve what it's telling you should achieve by doing these things. That can create a lot of anguish, right? A lot of internal anguish, like, what is this? Right? And so the more that we can kind of break down the myth that we're being sold, we can take that shame off of ourselves and realize it's a lie. A lot of these things are lies that we're being sold. So, hey, Donna, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, Donna O'Neill says, yes, it starts from school. At elementary school I work at, they gave students with good attendance $200. Ooh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, attendance prizes is something else. Yeah. Being rewarded for not taking a day off, maybe when you needed a day off, like a mental health day. We know that's so real. School was a lot for me, right? Just the entire institution of education was a lot. And so to be rewarded for not taking a day off and for that to be the prize that you're striving towards, it's like, what are we instilling in people very early on, right? And that's one of my notes here, like informing future generations who are coming up. Please don't buy into this. Please don't push your body past the point of exhaustion trying to achieve. For what? Because it's really a mirage. And in the process, we are experiencing severe mental and physical health impacts from trying to achieve this thing that's not even really achievable. And it's harming us in the process. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so I've seen a few videos talking about the myth of meritocracy, but in class terms. So I was thinking about it more in like race and gender terms, right? Again, being in spaces of Black women sharing their stories, me sharing my story about being in a toxic job, being at the top of everything, right? The top of my class, like everything, constantly striving, achieving. And I still ended up in a very toxic work situation, right? Where one of the people who was tasked with leading me was actually hitting me with passive aggressive behavior at every turn, right? Kind of envious of my degrees, my position. I don't even know what she was envious of. But it's like you get to that point and you're like, what did I do all of this for? What did I do all this for? Why was I striving to achieve all of these things, right? The highest GPA, the graduation with awards and honors and all these things, if I'm just ending up in a situation where people are envious of me and trying to break me down at every turn. And now I'm experiencing, again, physical and mental health consequences from this treatment. So what are we being sold, right? That education is the great equalizer. That more, again, awards, certifications, degrees will save us from harm, will save us from misogynoir, which is a term coined by Moya Bailey. And I have it right here. Hold on just a second. Let me read it. So misogynoir is the dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against Black women. So we are being sold that more education, right, more external validation will save us from these things. And as we're sharing our stories in toxic jobs, we're realizing that that is not true. In fact, it gets worse sometimes. The more degrees, the more things that you hold, right? The more that you demonstrate your abilities, it doesn't even have to be degrees. But the more that you demonstrate that in the workplace, a lot of people don't like to see that, right? Because it sparks something within them. It sparks an inferiority complex within them. And so they lash out at us. And in the process, we are being harmed. We are the ones who are being harmed. Yeah. Getting back to my notes. So yes, Black women are the most educated demographic in the US when it comes to degree attainment versus population size. We're brilliant, right? And you don't have to have a degree to be brilliant. I never want to put that out there at all. Because this happens to Black women at every level, in every work situation, right? We've seen it over and over again. We've already established that we're brilliant. We're told that more degrees, more titles, more certifications will bring us this success that meritocracy sells us. And again, sometimes it does bring the material success, but at what cost to our bodies? What cost to our mental health? To our families? Because we know this is not just isolated to what we're experiencing. The pain and trauma that we're enduring during the day in these institutions, right, ripples out to our families, our friends. And we are often the leaders in our communities, right? So how many other people are being impacted by this lie that we're striving towards all the time for it never to come, and then it severely impacting us, our mental health, our physical health, right? So we're told to constantly achieve, constantly strive to get the highest GPA, the awards, only to be met with even more hostility. It's very confusing. And this is the pet to threat phenomenon, coined by 3 Black women professors, right? Dr. Keisha Thomas, Dr. Juanita Phelps, who coined this term. This is where it gets confusing, because we're meeting the job qualifications above and beyond. We're demonstrating our abilities again, which is what meritocracy tells us to do to achieve success, demonstrate our abilities, which we're doing, and then we're met with hostility. And then we're met with aggressive behavior. People trying to undermine us, right? People being envious of these degrees and stuff, certifications, ways that we're demonstrating our abilities. People are envious of that now. So now we become the threat. So that kind of bolsters, right, my idea that this whole meritocracy thing is a lie, especially for Black women. But yeah. Yeah, so we have all the degrees, right? And even if we don't, we're still worthy. We're inherently worthy. We're at the top of our fields. We're subject matter experts. And we're still not afforded what meritocracy promises us. Instead, we're met, again, vitriol, bullying, aggression, passive aggression, being undermined, and our mental and physical health suffers greatly. And again, sharing this in the hopes that future generations will see. Please don't buy into this, right? The more of us can realize that this is a lie that we're being sold and we're being harmed in the process. You have other options besides buying into this and it impacting your mental, your physical health severely. A lot of the times, these are life and death situations. They can get to that point, right? As we've seen with Dr. Antoinette Bonnie Candia Bailey. with her passing. This can be a life or death matter. This lie of, if I continue to demonstrate that I deserve to be in this position, which we already know, you got the job. If I go above and beyond, if I strive, if I do more and more, if I finally prove to people that I'm worthy of being here, then I will get that respect. Then I will achieve that success. And over again, we see that that is not true. And so we're constantly chasing, right, on this like hamster wheel, it feels like. Chasing this ever elusive success, respect that we should already be afforded. And when you realize that, right, that it is a lie, sometimes we're very deep in it. And it's hard to climb back out of that. So the earlier that we can recognize that what we're in, what we're being told and sold is not true, we can protect ourselves in the process and realize what we're actually in. Right? So yes. Black women at all levels, all education levels, are being harmed. Education clearly is not the great equalizer. So I said, I'm seething, I'm angry, I'm disillusioned. What did I do all of this for? I pushed my body past the point of exhaustion to accumulate more degrees, more awards, more certifications, only to end up in a toxic job where those things made me appear threatening to people who are insecure. So what is the end game here? Because it kind of feels like a setup, right? We're being set up to be harmed. Achieving all these things, again, this is not easy to do within these institutions. Getting degrees, right? We're talking about the harm that higher education institutions cause us is a whole other life. But it's real. The harm that that causes, and then now we're in toxic jobs, right? Dealing with the harm in that. So to what end are we doing these things? And has the data shown us that this is actually true, that meritocracy is upheld for Black women? And yeah, speaking about entrepreneurship, right? A lot of us pivot to entrepreneurship to escape hostile, toxic work environments. And I'll be talking with Dr. Kamani on her channel tonight about how to start freelancing to escape a toxic job. I will link her channel right here in the chat. But yeah, a lot of us pivot, right? We pivot to freelancing, contract work, owning our own businesses, sometimes not necessarily because we want to, and that's our passion, but to escape the toxicity, to escape the envy that is thrown our way, that we experience so deeply in a lot of these workplaces. Yeah. Again, this is a lie, right? That's kind of my thesis coming into this. The lie of meritocracy for Black women. Are we being set up to be harmed? Has the data shown us that meritocracy is actually upheld? Because I would argue it doesn't at all. In fact, the contrary, right? It has shown us, as we have seen Black women in toxic jobs, again, at the top of our fields, demonstrating our abilities, only to be met with further harm. And a lot of the times having to start all over again once we've achieved these things. So yes, that was on my notes, y'all. I didn't know how long this was going to take, but I appreciate y'all being here. Again, this is my 100th video upload, and I appreciate all your support, all the things that you have shared with me, right, to help me on my healing journey, because I'm also Still in the process of healing. So reading your stories and realizing that I am not alone in a lot of the things I've experienced has been so healing. And I just appreciate y'all so much. But on that note, I do want to say, if you do want to purchase replays to the Job Liberation Virtual Summit, those are still available for you. If you missed the live summit that I hosted with Dr. Kamani, you can go to jobliberation.heysummit.com to purchase those. And I will be going live with Dr. Kamani tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, to talk about freelancing to escape or exit a toxic job. So yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all there if you can make it. But yeah, hope you enjoy your Tuesday. Until next time, y'all. Bye. Thank you.